Welcome to another coaching demonstration from the team at MRA. Today we are showcasing contracting.
Hi, Sophie, how are you?
Really well, thanks. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Yeah. So I know this is the first time we've worked together in a coaching capacity. So at the beginning of any coaching relationship, we like to do something called contracting, which is essentially looking at how we're going to work together. So I'm going to talk through a few of the principles, but just before we start, have you had coaching before?
I have, many years ago now.
Yeah. How did you find that?
Really enjoyed it. It was a really busy period of my life, and I really enjoyed that sort of time for me. A couple of hours every month, sort of for 6 months. It was really, really, really valuable.
Brilliant. That's good to hear. It's nice to hear you say you enjoyed it, because coaching is designed to be really highly supportive. So hopefully you'll find this experience similar in terms of that enjoyment and support. It's also designed to be a bit challenging as well, so it might be feel a little bit pokey or a bit uncomfortable at times. And I'd urge you just to kind of sit with that bit of discomfort, because it can be really helpful and suggests that perhaps movement's taking place and you're learning something on the back of your coaching. Just as a reminder, though, I know you've had coaching before, so what coaching is and what it isn't. So as your coach, I'm here to ask questions and to do some great listening. I'm not here to give you advice. So it's about encouraging you to find the solutions, to find the answers that will work for you. So I'm not in advice mode. I'm absolutely sitting in that listening space, asking questions. Should be highly supportive, as I said, might be a bit challenging at times as well. And if I ask you questions over the course of the sessions and you feel a bit challenged, sit with it. If you don't want to answer a question at any stage, that's also fine. So it's about you managing your own boundaries about what you would like to talk about. Does that all make sense so far?
Yeah, it's just bringing back memories from my old coaching. There was quite a bit of challenge in that as well. Lots of uncomfortable moments. So I'm quite used to how that feels for me.
All right. Good, that's good. And so you make a really important point actually about managing yourself and managing your boundaries. So I will challenge you, but if I'm not challenging you enough, then you let me know. Or if you want some more challenge, then also let me know about that. So if you can give me feedback as we go through on that, that's going to be really helpful.
Yeah, brilliant. I like it right between the eyes. That's how I'm best suited. Really brilliant for me.
Brilliant. So nice and direct.
Yes, please.
That's good. Okay. One of the other core principles of coaching is that everything we discuss is completely confidential. So I'm a member of the International Coaching Federation. There's a global code of ethics. And as a professional coach, I sign up to that code of ethics. Confidentiality is at its heart. So everything we discuss is completely confidential. I won't be sharing anything from our sessions with anybody else. But what I would say to you is, if you want to share anything from your sessions, then I'd absolutely encourage you to do that. It can be really helpful, particularly with your sponsor, if you want to share some insights that you've gained, because it can really help with embedding learning and helping your sponsor support you through the coaching program as well. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So I'm okay to take notes as we go.
Absolutely, yes. Yeah. So if you want to take notes, that's great. And in fact, I'd encourage you to do that, because sometimes at the beginning of a session, you might learn something about yourself, and by the end of the session, you may well have forgotten that. So it's really helpful to take notes as we go through. I don't take notes. I usually take notes after the session, just to remind myself of what we've discussed, but I won't be taking notes during the session.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you.
So from a confidentiality perspective, the only time that I would break confidentiality is if there was a safeguarding issue. So if I felt that either you or somebody else was in danger, and then I'd have a conversation with you about that, and we'd agree a way forward in terms of how to take that forward. So it's important to point that out, just in case anything arises as we work together over the next few months.
Yeah, understood.
Okay, brilliant. Okay. In terms of how we work, you've obviously worked with a coach before. What do you need from me as a coach as we go through the programme?
So it'll be interesting because when I worked with my last coach, it was all face to face, and obviously we're going to work virtually. So it might be quite nice to just sort of have 5 minutes before or after where we can get to know each other a little bit, because I'd quite like to do that, so I can get to really know you well as well, and sort of really build that trust between us.
Yeah, brilliant. I think that's a really good point, isn't it? It's very different working in this environment. So allowing a bit of time in the sessions just for a bit of conversation and catch up is going to be helpful for you.
Yes, please.
Okay, brilliant. Just in terms of the logistics, you've said we're working online. The sessions are 2 hours, and that time is yours. So it's time for you, and absolutely for you investing in yourself. I will send you some preparation ahead of each of the sessions. So some reflection questions, there might be things to read or to watch. And again, if you want more reading or more preparation, then let me know. If it's too much, then also I'll be guided by you in that respect.
Brilliant.
Okay, fantastic. The other thing about coaching is we work with you as a whole person. So I know that your organisation is paying for and investing in you for your coaching, but it's not just about you, Sophie, at work and professionally. It's about you as a whole person. So you bring your whole self to work. So I'd encourage you to bring your whole self to coaching as well. To that end, in terms of your well-being, how's your well-being at the moment, both your physical and your mental well-being?
Yeah, I'm really, really in a good place across those. Yeah.
Brilliant. And from a mental health perspective, have you experienced any mental ill health in the past?
No.
Okay, that's good to know. Thank you for sharing that. And then finally, before we get into the coaching session, I just wanted to ask you about neurodiversity and whether you have any diagnoses of neurodivergent conditions.
No. Not that I'm aware of. I certainly don't have any diagnoses.
Okay, great. So as a neuro-inclusive practitioner, if I notice any patterns or notice anything as we go through the coaching sessions that I think might be related to a neurodivergent condition, I would bring that and we'd have a conversation about that. So how do you feel about that?
Yeah, that would be really, really helpful if you are noticing anything, to sort of trust in your expertise and your understanding around that area particularly. I don't know much about it, so that'd be really useful.
Okay, great. So is there anything else that you would like to know or understand about the coaching process before we get into the session?
Don't think so. I think, I learn through doing, so I'm just really looking forward to getting started.
Okay, brilliant. And what I would say is we'll come back to this contracting at the beginning of each of the sessions just to remind ourselves on what we've agreed in terms of ways of working. And of course, you're at the beginning of the coaching program now. As we start to work together, there may well be things that you think actually I'd like more of or less of. So please do give me that feedback as we go through, and we can certainly change or adapt the way that we work to make sure you get the most out of your whole program.
Sounds great. Really looking forward to getting started.
Thanks, Sophie. Looking forward to working with you over the next few months.
Yep, me too. See you soon, Hilary.
Cheers then, bye.
That concludes the coaching demonstration. If you'd like to learn more about professional coaching, please visit www.matthewradley.co.uk.